The void does not simply exist. It hungers. Imagine standing at the absolute precipice of nothingness, where the silence is so heavy it resonates like a thunderclap in the marrow of your bones. Before the first spark of light ignited the heavens, before the foundations of the earth were measured, there was only the primordial chaos, a swirling, formless tempest of infinite potential and absolute terror. Does your own life not feel like this at times? A swirling vortex where every ambition, fear, and desire collide in a deafening cacophony, leaving you paralyzed at the edge of your own existence? In the ancient accounts, this state of unformed matter was not merely an absence. It was an overwhelming presence, a deep ocean of confusion waiting for the hand of order. The Greeks knew this as the gaping abyss, while the sacred texts describe it as a vast, desolate expanse veiled in shadows. It is the raw material of creation, the unruly clay before the artisan arrives. If you are currently navigating a season of profound upheaval, a career collapse, a fractured relationship, or a total loss of identity, you are not witnessing the end. You are standing in the very workshop of the universe. The cosmos did not erupt into brilliance by accident. It was summoned through the act of division. Light was separated from darkness, the firmament from the deep. This is the profound secret of the ancients. Structure is the antidote to the void. To master your own personal chaos, you must cease trying to tame the entire storm at once. Instead, you must learn the art of the boundary. Just as the primal forces were ordered by the deliberate articulation of reality, your life gains meaning only when you define what you will accept and what you must cast out. You are the architect of your own firmament. The turbulence you feel today is not a sign of your inadequacy, but the necessary condition for your reconstruction. When you feel the crushing weight of the unknown, do not retreat into the safety of the past. Lean into the tension. Identify the one thing you can name, the one boundary you can set, and the one truth you can speak. In that singular act of definition, the light begins to divide the darkness, and from your own private abyss, a new world begins to emerge. The map you have been using to navigate your life is obsolete. Picture the moment the horizon shifts, not because the sun has moved, but because you have finally dared to turn your back on the comfortable landmarks of your ancestors. Imagine the weight of a heavy mantle falling from your shoulders as you cross the threshold of a city you have known for a lifetime, knowing with absolute certainty that you will never return. Why do we cling to the familiar long after it has ceased to serve our growth? Why do we mistake the stillness of a stagnant pool for the peace of a life well lived? In the ancient narratives, the call to destiny often arrives as a disruptive force, shattering the illusion of security. When the patriarchs were summoned from their ancestral hearths, they were not merely moving from one geography to another. They were undergoing a psychological migration. The promised land is not a physical destination on a map, but the internal territory of who you are meant to become. To remain where you are is to exist in a gilded cage, a space that is perfectly predictable, entirely safe, and fundamentally hollow. The comfort of the known is the primary architect of human stagnation. True transformation requires the courage to embrace the unknown as a companion rather than an adversary. Every hero in the annals of mythology understands that the threshold is the most dangerous and necessary place to stand. It is the boundary where your old self, shaped by the expectations of others and the habits of the past, must be left behind. This is not an abandonment of your history, but an expansion of your soul's capacity. The fear you feel at the prospect of leaving your comfort zone is not a warning to stop. It is the friction of your potential rubbing against the limitations of your current reality. Your life's true work cannot be accomplished in the harbor. You must sail into the deeper waters of your own possibility. When the call comes, that quiet, insistent voice urging you to pursue a path that defies common logic. Do not analyze the risks until you are paralyzed. Instead, treat the departure as an act of faith in your own latent abilities. The moment you step across that threshold, the map of your potential begins to rewrite itself, revealing paths that were previously invisible, leading you toward a horizon that is worthy of your deepest purpose. The air grows thin when you stand before the shadow of a mountain you thought you would never have to climb. Think of the legendary warriors of old, staring up at a titan that seems to defy the laws of nature. An opponent not made of flesh and bone, but of pure, crystallized intimidation. This is the moment when the heart falters, when the voice of self-doubt whispers that the task is far greater than your resolve. But observe the true master of the blade or the sagacious leader. They do not fix their eyes upon the titan's stature. They fix their eyes upon the internal tether that connects their fear to their purpose. Every person harbors a Goliath, a towering projection of their own insecurities, a manifested doubt that stands between them and their promised horizon. Whether it is the paralyzing fear of public failure, the crushing weight of past regrets, or the silent whisper of unworthiness, these shadows loom large only because we grant them the light of our own attention. In the ancient tales, the heroes did not triumph by matching the adversary's strength in a contest of brute force. They triumphed through the mastery of perspective. They saw the giant for what it truly was, an external reflection of an internal barrier that had remained unaddressed for too long. To engage with your shadow is the most courageous act of self-sovereignty. When you turn to face the darkness, you discover that the monolith is not a solid wall, but a fragile construct held together by your own avoidance. The moment you name your fear, you strip it of its mystique. You transform the shadow from an insurmountable obstacle into a teacher of resilience. This is the alchemy of the soul, the process of transmuting the leaden weight of anxiety into the refined gold of wisdom. You must stop circling the perimeter of your discomfort. Instead, walk directly into the center of the fray. Arm yourself not with the borrowed armor of someone else's expectations, but with the stones of your own lived truth. The singular, sharp insights you have gathered through every trial and error. When you confront your internal adversary with clarity and unwavering intention, the titan does not merely fall. It dissolves. You realize that you were never fighting a monster. You were refining the capacity of your own spirit. By mastering your demons today, you prepare yourself to govern your destiny tomorrow. The horizon stretches out, a shimmering expanse of unrelenting, golden silence. Imagine standing amidst the vast, shifting dunes where every footstep is erased by the wind as soon as it is made. Here, in the heart of the great, arid solitude, the clamor of the world, the demands of the marketplace, the expectations of the crowd, the frantic rhythm of daily survival, dissolves into nothingness. Why do we fear the stillness so intensely? Perhaps because in the absence of external noise, the internal echo becomes impossible to ignore. We retreat from silence because we are terrified of hearing the voice we have spent a lifetime attempting to drown out. Throughout history, the desert has served as the ultimate crucible for the human spirit. It is the place where the prophets, the philosophers, and the seekers of old withdrew to undergo their most profound transformations. In the heat of the sun and the chill of the desert night, the ego is stripped of its pretensions. There are no titles here, no accolades to pursue, and no shadows to hide behind. There is only the individual, exposed to the elements and the infinite breadth of their own consciousness. This is not a place of punishment. It is a laboratory of the soul, where the trivial is burned away to reveal the essential. In our modern age of constant connectivity, we have lost the art of the intentional retreat. We are perpetually plugged into a stream of information, drowning in the opinions of others, yet starving for our own authentic perspective. True wisdom does not emerge from the cacophony of the digital agora. It rises from the deep well of introspection found only in solitude. When you cultivate a desert within your own schedule, a space of deliberate silence and disengagement, you provide the fertile soil necessary for your highest intentions to take root. Do not mistake this solitude for loneliness. It is, instead, the most profound form of self-governance. By stepping away from the influence of the collective, you reclaim the authority over your own thoughts. You learn to discern the difference between the clamoring noise of impulse and the steady, quiet resonance of your true purpose. In the sanctuary of the silence, your internal compass recalibrates. You return to the world not as a reactive fragment of the crowd, but as a centered, focused force, carrying with you the rare and precious insight that can only be forged in the quiet. The architecture of greatness is rarely born from a sudden, blinding flash of inspiration. It is built through the patient, rhythmic alignment of intention and labor. Consider the ancient builders who raised cathedrals and vessels designed to weather the most ferocious storms. They did not begin with the grand, finished vision. They began with the single, foundational measurement. They understood that the distance between a dream and its manifestation is a span held together by the mortar of discipline. Why do so many promising ambitions wither before they reach fruition? Often, it is because we mistake the initial burst of enthusiasm for the strength required to endure the long, unremarkable stretch of the work itself. When the fervor of the beginning fades and the novelty of the path dissipates, you are left with the cold reality of the process. This is the moment of greatest risk, where the temptation to abandon the project for a newer, more alluring pursuit is at its peak. However, the legends of the past reveal a different truth. The capacity to maintain one focus when the horizon seems static is the ultimate hallmark of the architect. Like the construction of an ark that takes years of toil before the first drop of rain falls, your progress is often invisible to those who only value the finished result. You are not failing during these quiet, arduous intervals. You are establishing the integrity of your own life work. To bridge the chasm between your vision and your reality, you must transform your commitment from a volatile emotion into a structural habit. Discipline is not a restriction of your freedom. It is the infrastructure that allows your freedom to expand. When you operate with a clear, predefined standard, a code of conduct for your daily efforts, you remove the necessity of constant deliberation. You no longer need to summon the will to act. You simply execute the design you have already committed to. This is how you build a life that stands the test of time. You treat every small task as a load-bearing element of your larger ambition. Do not seek to move mountains in a single day. Focus instead on the precision of your daily labor, the consistency of your craft, and the unwavering dedication to the vision you hold. By aligning your inner resolve with the practical necessity of action, you stop wishing for a miracle and begin the steady, sovereign work of creating one. The journey you have undertaken, from the formless depths of the primordial void to the deliberate construction of your own legacy, has been a traversal of the very same paths trodden by the sages and heroes of antiquity. You have learned that chaos is not an end, but a beginning. That the unknown is the only territory where true character is forged. That your shadows are merely teachers in disguise. That silence is a sanctuary of power. And that discipline is the bridge between a dream and an enduring reality. You are no longer merely a passenger of circumstance, but the architect of your own destiny. Yet, consider this. The greatest stories of the past were never truly about the individual success of the hero, but about the inheritance they left for those who followed. When the wanderer returns from the desert, when the builder completes the vessel, and when the titan is subdued, the final act of greatness is always the same: the transition from seeking to serving. Your life, refined by the ancient wisdom we have explored, is now a beacon. It is a testament to the fact that, regardless of the era, the fundamental laws of human excellence remain immutable. You are the custodian of these timeless truths, and your actions today are the seeds of a future that will flourish long after your own chapter has closed. Do not harbor the misconception that your work is finished because you have reached this horizon. True mastery is cyclical. The wisdom you have acquired is not a destination at which you arrive, but a lens through which you must now perceive every unfolding moment. Carry this compass within you. Let the lessons of the ancients ground your ambitions, and let your legacy be defined not by the fleeting accolades of the present, but by the indelible mark you leave upon the human spirit. You carry the torch of a lineage that stretches back to the dawn of consciousness. Each decision you make, each obstacle you transform into an opportunity, and each act of integrity contributes to the tapestry of history. Walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who knows that the foundations are secure. The chaos has been ordered, the fear has been integrated, and the work has begun. You have mastered the ancient map, and now, the world awaits the unique resonance of your own, singular path. Go forth and create, for your story is the one that the world most desperately needs to hear.